privilege it is for us today to have some of the most talented young people in San Angelo. All of these 6 have won state awards in vocal performance, and they are juniors and seniors at Central High School. And we have 2 juniors, and the 4 to my right are seniors and going to be leaving us and the outstanding music program at Central High School. And what I really hoped our audience would learn from you today is, why would a young person aspire to be sitting here where you are? What on earth has been the big deal about the awards you have won? Now, I know, but a lot of our audience may not know. And many people in San Angelo have come to your twice a year concerts, at least twice a year at Holy Angels, that are thrilling and give me goosebumps. So let's talk a little bit about the process. First of all, I want you to introduce yourself and again tell our audience what year you are. And you 4 seniors, tell us where you're going to school next year. Okay, Andrea.
I'm Andrea Maciejewski. I'm a senior at Central High School, and I'm going to Southern Methodist University next year.
My name is Michal Tegeler. I'm a senior at Central as well, and I'm going to Texas Tech University next year.
I'm Mary Lewis, and I'm a junior at Central.
I'm Adrian Chapa, and I'm also a junior at Central.
I'm Matt Groth. I'm a senior, and I will be attending Texas A&M next year.
I'm Elizabeth, and I am a senior at Central High School, and I will be going to Texas Tech University.
Well, we have 2 Red Raiders. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. And an Aggie and one of those Mustangs. Are any of the 4 seniors going to do anything with music at college? I know the answer, but tell us what you're going to be majoring in when you get to college.
I will be hopefully double majoring in music, performance, and biology.
And Andrea, you are the one of the group that has won these made state twice, 2 years now. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Woohoo! So you juniors now have that opportunity to do that, and that is a very, very small percentage. And the 6 of you, only about, as I understand it, only about 2% of the 14,000 to 15,000 young people that try out across our state of Texas every year make the all-state choir. Isn't that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And so then to do it 2 years in a row, we could only reduce those numbers down to 1% or less, I would bet. So we're expecting that out of you 2 next year. Now, you all, there were 3 competitions to get to state. Someone tell me Michael, tell me about those 3 competitions.
The first is the region competition, where we try out against people from all over the region, and there's probably an average of 50 or 60 people in each section that we try out against, and you have to make the top 20 and the top 10 to go on to the next round, which is pre-area, which is also held in our region, and you audition against those top 10 that made it, and then you have to make the top 5 to go on to the state auditions, where you audition against 4 other groups of 5 across the state in our area, which is the all-state audition.
So how many were in the choir, the state choir, that performed in February? Approximately.
There's 3 different state choirs.
Okay.
There's the men's choir, the women's choir, and the mixed choir. And
okay.
They all have, the mixed choir is the biggest one.
The mixed choir has about 300 people. That's when I was in. And then,
okay.
200, Mr. Colson.
Men and women have about 200 each.
Okay. From all over the state.
Yep.
Yes.
And the majority would be juniors and seniors. Wouldn't you say that's accurate?
Yes.
Okay. So now you all are going back in June to Austin to compete in the solo and ensemble competition, is that right?
Yes.
Woohoo! So even though you're graduating, you're still going to compete, as will our orchestra and band folks in the state ensemble. That is a great competition as well. So mostly in small groups. Is there a performance, or do you just compete for medals in that?
We just compete.
Just compete? Okay. I thought that was the case. Now, let's talk about what were, besides being able to say and list on a resume that you have attained this honor, which means you're very talented. I can say that and not be a bragger. You all attained that. What did you learn? What were the greatest memories you have from this and how it's impacted you? That might be two questions. So you want to start? Let's start with the back row.
Okay. Which question do you want me to answer first?
Let's talk about what being a part of a championship program, choir program like we have at Central under Mr. Cole. You all have given up lots and lots of hours to, you don't just show up and are all of a sudden a champion. There are hours and hours of practice and performances before you would even have a chance at winning, being one of these 2% in our state. So what of that have you learned during this process that you think has made you a better person and a student?
Well, working really hard on all of the music and growing in my vocal techniques and stuff, it has really helped me learn persistence and dedication to things, and I really developed a passion for music. And I also put that passion into everything else I do and try and pursue anything that I can set my mind to.
I think your word passion, the little bit that I have been privileged to get to know you six, I would say that describes all six, is a common trait of all six of you. It shows when you're singing, you are enjoying it like crazy. So, and you know, Mr. Cole can't direct you or boss you to be passionate about it. But he can provide opportunities. First of all, you all get along so well. You like each other. A lot of groups fuss and pick on each other in a negative way, sometimes out of jealousy. I've never seen that in you all. You thoroughly enjoy each other. So now you mentioned perseverance and persistence of staying with it, staying with it, staying with it, and then it's helped you with your passion. We have a better opportunity of being passionate if we're enjoying it, and y'all have enjoyed it. Okay, keep going, back row. Tell me what else you have learned being a part of this.
I don't know. I don't really know what else I can say other than.
Well, anybody before I plant some seeds in your mind?
Send it all up.
Summed everything
I
up.
take all the great ideas.
What about a love for different kinds of music?
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
Would you have chosen every single piece Mr. Cole has chosen for you?
Nope.
No.
No.
Not everyone,
Definitely.
but
Many,
close to everyone.
close to
Yeah.
everyone, Michael? Well, don't you think it has stretched your music appreciation?
Absolutely.
As the years go on, you know, in freshman year, you really don't like much of the music that the director chooses. And by senior year, you're able to really accept and appreciate that all of the music that he gets. Even if we don't particularly enjoy a song immensely, we can still appreciate why he chose it.
And sometimes we'll get a song that we don't necessarily, we'll look at it at first and be like, this song, I don't know how this is going to work. But then we'll learn it and we'll sing it, and it's this really, really cool sounding song that sounds awesome.
Well, my opinion is that he chooses some of the music, if not a majority, on what you can compete well and win, because he knows how to win. Isn't that probably part of
Yeah,
it?
I think so.
Okay, there we are. Okay, now let's talk about, this will probably be an easier question. What are some the most enjoyable parts of being a part of this type of group or groups? Because some of you have been in multiple of the choirs, the men's group, the small ensemble, the mixed choir. What have been your most memorable parts or times of this process?
Which one? Of
one
the
of the-
state choir or of the choirs
No,
here?
our school.
Both. How about let's do them both?
Well, from the state choir, you know, you go to San Antonio and you walk into this room with 200, well, I was in the women's choir. You walk into this room with 200 other women and you can just feel the passion and the energy just emanating from everyone. And you know, I remember the first song we sang was a song that we had already auditioned on, so we all knew it. We knew it well. And we sang that first note, and it was just like the angels started singing. And we all started crying because it was so beautiful, and we had never heard a sound as wonderful as that, because everyone loved what they were doing, and that was my favorite memory.
And there's no weak voice in there. There's
No,
nobody
no.
going, oh, how did they make it? They're all good.
Yeah, there was no weak link.
Wow. Okay, what else about this? Let's do the state choir. What other great memories do you have? I try to look back at memories of my life of what did I get opportunities that very few people get, and you have had an opportunity that very few have had. So put that into words for us. What are the great memories of that?
One of the most. I was in the mixed choir, and one of the songs we got when you audition for area, when you make it, they give you like 3 or 4 new songs that you have to learn before you go to the audition. And one of the songs we learned was Hard Times. It was called Hard Times, and it's by Stephen Foster, but it's arranged by Craig Keller Johnson. And usually you're with a clinician or a conductor or whatever, and they'll teach you. They'll be like, I think they want this. But what we actually got to do is we got to sit down and have an hour and a half session, with Craig Keller Johnson, the arranger of the piece. And you know, it's different to have a conductor pretty much guessing or doing what he wants, but then when you have someone that actually arranged, like, I want this here. Well, when I wrote this, I wanted this here, and it was so cool to actually get to meet this guy and, you know, like sit down and have him like pretty much teach us this song.
That's a very unusual experience that not many people in our world get, is to be with either the composer or the arranger. Even if it might not have been your favorite song, it's still to get inside their head and know how they felt because they're very smart. To be a composer or arranger, they're very smart people. Michael, were you trying to say something about your experience?
Oh, well, I was pretty much going to say the same thing. We got to work with Paul Blassler, who arranged a piece
And he played.
called Alleluia, and he played the French horn.
I don't know. It wasn't.
He
the
played
first
his
one.
own
it was-
version of the
yeah.
French horn. It was like
It was 4
it was-
different horns combined into one.
Well,
Yeah.
normal French horns have 3 valves, and this one had 7. So it was
So,
like its own.
It was a
little-
custom horn,
yeah.
just for
And
him.
It was really
And he
cool.
played it during our song.
And he was just really inspiring, and we all already loved that song. That song is so beautiful, and being able to hear him play his part that he arranged and composed was just incredible and really enlightening.
Wow. So that's almost icing on the cake, isn't it? To have gotten this award, of being at state, and to have the experience with these highly gifted composers. Now, anything else about just the state, not competition, but state process, so I guess it is the competition, what it took for you through the auditions and then getting to the concert? Was there anything that stands out that that make it rise up in your high school experiences?
I think that, we were all rejected at one point to go into the next round or to even make region the first round. And I think when you get rejected, it makes you work harder, and it's made us appreciate everything, and it's all made us work hard to get to where we're at today. And so
you've experienced the agony of defeat
Yes.
in
Yes.
previous years.
yes.
Definitely.
And
And it is
then
agony.
made it, wow, okay. I didn't realize that. I just assumed you just made it because you're also good.
A lot of us.
No, that's a big no.
Well, it's frustrating because like in previous years when you got rejected, you'd see all your like some of your friends going on to the next level and the next level and the next level, and you just get like really disheartened. But then this year, working hard and getting it and making it, it's just awesome. It's an awesome feeling.
Very rewarding.
Yeah.
So a young person younger than you all who's watching this, the things I'm hearing that have made this all worthwhile have been not only getting to go to that concert and perform with other gifted musicians, but then getting to spend an hour and a half or 2 hours with the person who wrote the music. Is it possible that you will, since most of you are going to keep music in your life, whether you major, minor, I went to college to major in music on a scholarship and ended up minoring in it because I thought I would starve if I majored in it. No, that's what my parents thought anyway. But music has been a very vital part of who I am my whole life, even though I didn't end up majoring in it, I minored. I think to have been even in one rehearsal or two with people who wrote it, is it possible, no matter what piece of music that you start looking at with a group or by yourself or a solo perhaps, will you ask yourself, what did the composer or the arranger have in mind when they were working on this? Were they young? Were they old? Were they poor? Were they rich?
Mr. Cole has definitely integrated that aspect of music into our brains.
So not just at the concert, the preparation for the concert, but in your daily preparation at Central High School, he has helped you to understand from his background of information about the composer or the arranger. Why is that a big deal?
Because you can't sing a song without knowing what it was written about.
You have to know the nature of the piece
Yeah.
before you
It
can
makes
really
the
do it any
piece-
justice.
I mean, you can have a French song, but you can't just sing it. It's like reading a bedtime story to your child with no inflection in your voice whatsoever.
Or like reading
It doesn't work.
a song in French about death and you're singing it very happy.
People can see if you really know what it means.
Those are excellent extensions of each other's answer. But it's true. Very much like an author like Charles Dickens, how much it helped me to know he had grown up very poor himself, and so most of his characters in his book are reflection of what he knew and grew up. And so it's the same with composers. So a person that is that is aware of background of music, especially music majors that have had to take courses in this, they would know if you get it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yay for Mr. Cole. Another brownie point. Okay, talk to me about what has music played a vital role in your life, your whole life, or just as you've gotten older as high school kids? Matt.
Okay. I've played piano since I was in kindergarten, so I've been doing music stuff my whole life, and I do think that this has, when I started doing the choir program and everything at Lee was when I started, and I learned a whole lot more that helped me with playing piano and with doing other kinds of music that I do, doing all of that, because there's so many aspects that I have been able to put together from different kinds of music that I've played and that I've sang, and different programs that I've been in, and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, you are not going to major in music. You're going in one of those science fields, the ologies.
Yes.
One of those ologies. And what role will music play in your life now?
Pretty much the same thing it's always done. I just won't, I don't know, I guess my problem is that I didn't feel like for me, since I've been doing it for so long, it's kind of like what I like to do as just like if I'm having a bad day, then I can just go sit down by myself and play the piano and just kind of get away from everything else. And that's the kind of stuff that it's going to stay. I mean, rather than making it my job and making it something that I have to work at all the time. I just like to.
Well, I term it, one of the things that is so meaningful to me is it's my therapy. And my husband says he can tell how I'm playing the piano, what kind of day
That's what
I've had.
some of them have said that whenever I'm playing, that they can.
Oh, yeah. So, what kind of a day Matt is having.
And you, so in Matt's case, who doesn't plan at this point to have a major or a minor, it will be more your avocation. So maybe you'll be in groups at a church or play for Rotary or what. But I'm telling you, even though I don't earn my living through music, not a day goes by that music is not part of my life.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I would hope the same for you, and I bet it is, Matt. Who else? Tell me a little bit about when the impact music has made on your life.
Well, it's kind of shaped who we are. It is who we are. You know, we go to school, and you know, this is kind of, I mean, at least with me, you know, the way that I work for music has influenced the way I work for school and the way I work for other people. And not only that, but, you know, sometimes, like Matt, whenever you're having a bad day, music is kind of a way of saying everything you want to say without saying a word.
Absolutely.
I mean, you don't have to tell someone, you can just sing or play the piano.
Whoa, that's good. That's deep. Someone else.
Okay, well, with me, I played the violin since I started playing the violin when I was in kindergarten, and you know, I played all up until 7th grade, and I just remember being like, oh, I don't want to take orchestra, I don't want to take PE, so I took choir, and I know that like I would have never, if it wouldn't have been for like my parents or my grandparents like pushing me to play the violin and like being all the like to get private lessons and all that stuff, I would never have discovered like singing, and now like this is what I want to do. Like I'm much better at it, and I realized like how talented I am, like, and I never would have discovered like my life would have been just like I played the violin, and I don't even like playing the violin anymore.
Well, I took violin all the way through high school, private lessons along with piano, and I think and voice, and I have maintained the piano part through the years, not the violin part. But has enriched you how? You're being a part of music since you were little.
Oh, it just made me like, I guess, have more of like an appreciation for different things. Like I'll have an appreciation for how like someone's singing on the radio, or you know, something weird like that. Or
now that's not weird. Do you think, does anyone feel that you being a part of an excellent program as opposed to an average program, that it makes you appreciate beauty that comes in all kinds of forms, whether it's art or literature or just beauty in our world or beauty in people? I think the music, I don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg for me, but that has impacted me in that way. Anyone else want to talk about their music?
Me?
Okay, good.
Well, music has always been a part of my family, and it's what brought my parents together in the first place. They were in college choir together, and so all of us kids grew up playing instruments, singing, and I don't know. I can't remember a time when I didn't sing and didn't hear my mom singing, and she teaches voice, and so she's really been supportive of everything.
How many of you, besides singing, play an instrument? But you did at one time?
Yes.
Okay, that doesn't surprise me. I hope that the young people watching this interview will have heard the fact that not only have you thoroughly enjoyed being a part of this program, you've had to work hard. That's the reality of it, because you don't become a champion without hard work. That's a physical impossibility. And also that it has influenced the fact that you feel you do well in other things, in your academics. All of you I know are good students because I looked, you graduates, at how many of you did very well, were in the top 10% and in the top 25. So that's, I think, a very interesting correlation of how you're not only talented, but you're smart academically. Would anybody have a word of wisdom for, say, a 4th, 5th, 6th grade young person that's trying to decide whether they would like to be a part of something like this? Matt?
Okay. I was just going to say, I think the thing that I've gotten the most out of everything in all this, and I think that I guess I won't speak for everybody, but I can probably say with confidence that everybody else is going to agree, that the biggest thing, no matter how well you do in the program, is that we've all created a really tight family, basically. We're together all the time. we're not only are we together on trips, we're together in class. Those with an ensemble are in like 2 classes a day together at least. We've gone on like 4 trips a year together that are overnight, and then the big trip at the end of the year. We're together all the time, and then we still manage to be able to hang out on weekends and outside of school and everything. And regardless of how well you do, you still make a lot of friends in music classes, more than I think other classes, because and not only that, it's also like, it's basically like our homeroom. I mean, like, that's where we are before school's in the choir room. We're in there for lunch, we're in there after school.
Yes.
It's just like, makes us sound like total nerds. but even the kids who aren't like super involved in choir and everything are still in the choir room all the time, and they still know everybody else in choir. It's just like, it's just the biggest part of, I think, all of our school, like, hands down.
And so not only are you talented and you are good academic students, my bet is that none of you give Mr. Waters any trouble behavior-wise.
No.
Well, I am so impressed and grateful to know you. You have enriched my life, as I know you have Mr. Cole, who's fortunate enough to be with you all every day. And I know he will miss you seniors in a huge way. We will miss you, and now they are passing the torch to you all, because somehow or other, year after year, Mr. Cole keeps producing great ensembles and choirs. So even though we'll miss you, we know that he's gotten many of you ready to pick up in the slack. Thank you all, and we look forward to following your careers.
Thank you.
Thank you.